Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with the greatest recordings ever. And today, we're talking about Bruckner Symphony number 9, the incomplete ninth, the one without the horrible completions of what would have been an awful finale, based on what we can hear of what Bruckner finished. You know, the cool thing about incomplete works is that a lot of composers completed some of them, and really completed some of them, like Schubert's Unfinished. He wrote 2 movements. They're perfectly fine. You know, I mean, he didn't write the rest of it. We have no idea why, but he didn't. Bruckner was finishing things as he went. So the 3 completed movements are perfectly, wonderfully complete. They don't need any sort of filler. They don't need any kind of editorial intervention. They are done. Totally done. It's the finale that was the problem that he was working on when he died. And that he never lived to complete. And so we have 3 perfectly fabulous movements that, as we all know, I mean, we all know it. Now, the Bruckner, military-industrial complex is trying to tell us that, yes, Bruckner would have to have written a finale, and he would have. We know that. It's not an argument that he would have had to have done it, But that's not an excuse for listening to what he didn't do, because he didn't do it, But what he did do works perfectly well as 3 fabulous movements. It does. It's fine, exactly as it is. It's an hour long, It has 3 incredibly well varied and thrilling movements. It's perfect the way it is. So, here's the deal. It's been a very lucky work on disc. Very lucky. There are wonderful performances all over the place. I mean, everybody from Giulini to Günter Wand to, Karajan did a bunch of good ones. Haitink did a bunch of good ones. I mean, everybody did good Bruckner ninths. Skrovatchevsky did some wonderful ones. I mean, and most people did more than one of them, actually. I mean, even Leonard Bernstein did it twice. I mean, and they're good. They're very good. It's kind of remarkable. So it's a lucky work. And it's just mythical because of its incompletedness and its ending with that incredibly angst-filled adagio. Most of Bruckner's slow movements are full of sort of this transcendental serenity. And this has that. This has plenty of transcendental serenity or transcendental something. But it also has an unbelievably expressionistic amount of angst attached to it, and dissonance, and it's just marvelous. I mean, the whole piece has an incredibly wide emotional range, and so the performance that really does it in terms of greatest ever, in my view, is one that captures this expanded emotional range that Bruckner embraced in his final years. And that recording is this one, Jochum with the Staatskapelle Dresden on Warner. I mean, this is just the most incredibly powerful Bruckner ninth out there. It's not the longest, it's not the heaviest, it's not it's not a lot of things. But what it is the most expressively human in its range of emotions. Because that's the kind of conductor Jochum was. Jochum is famous as a Bruckner guy, a Bruckner conductor, but he's approaching Bruckner from the, sort of German sonata form classical style, that is, from the romanticized but nonetheless Beethoven Brahms school. And in Jochum's view, Bruckner fits into that feeling of sonata form as human drama. You can play Bruckner differently. You can play him as a proto-modernist, where his theme chunks all have this sort of stay static immobility, this Zen-like, Apollonian calm. That's the way Karajan plays him, for example. But you can also do it the other way. That involves sort of dovetailing sections a little more with transitions and a freer treatment of tempo and a more singing quality to those song period things that Bruckner does, and the really passionate approach to the chorales, not that sort of glacial distance effect that you sometimes get. None of that was for Jochum. And he's got the Staatskapelle Dresden, which was the greatest German orchestra in the 60s and 70s. Pace Berlin, I don't care. I think the Staatskapelle Dresden was a much more interesting sounding ensemble. And this is just brutally honest, emotionally devastating as a performance. The scherzo is practically The Rite of Spring Goes to Germany. It is pulverizingly vicious. I mean, nasty. It actually has this sort of emotional significance, a depth that you don't hear in so many other performances. And that adagio, oh my God, the final adagio, it's heart-wrenching. It's absolutely heart-wrenching. You know, the dissonances, the painful, anguished, tortured melodies alternating with these gorgeous seraphic strains and the cosmic noise when the trumpets are going da 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 and the horns are going wah pop wah. You know, it's absolutely looking out into the cosmic void. And then that chorale just before the big climax, you know, yeah, da, 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 da. The strings come in, and it's marked mezzo forte. Jochum takes it like fortissimo. It's like, ah! You know, it's incredibly moving and affective, stunning, thrilling recording. And for that reason, it remains one of the greatest recordings ever of anything. I'm not kidding. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.